You know the type, right? The person who seems to be two completely different people depending on who's in the room. Well, today we're going to deconstruct one of the most common modern archetypes, often called, well, the ass kisser. We're digging into a source that claims it has the whole thing figured out. Let's dive in. Right out of the gate, the source material makes this really bold claim. It's saying this personality type isn't just a random mix of traits, but a single, distinct profile, a one-package deal. It's a pretty strong thesis, which kind of forces us to ask, okay, so what exactly is in this package? So this is the real heart of the idea, the one-package thesis. We're not just looking at a checklist of annoying habits. Nope. This is a unified theory of behavior. The argument is that certain traits are basically glued together. They always show up as a set. So let's break down the first piece of that puzzle. Okay, the first component in this package is what you could call the echo chamber. And let's be clear, this isn't just about being agreeable or nice. This is the art of strategic agreement. It's about carefully building an echo chamber for someone else's ego. You gotta notice the specific wording here. It says they tell someone only what they want to hear. That word only is doing all the work. It completely reframes the behavior. This isn't about sharing a genuine opinion. It's a calculated tactic. The whole goal is just to perfectly mirror whatever a person in power wants to hear. And, this behavior maps perfectly onto the classic definition of a sycophant. It is textbook stuff, using flattery and validation as a tool to get ahead. They basically become a perfect mirror, reflecting a leader's own ideas right back at them. All right, so if the first component is all about pleasing other people, this second one, it feels like a total contradiction. Now we move on to the trait of assumed expertise, a really powerful and maybe, as we'll see, unearned sense of overconfidence. The source is super deliberate with how it phrases this. See the capitalization? THINKS. That's on purpose. It's implying that this isn't just regular confidence. It suggests a huge gap between how much they think they know and what they actually know. It's all about the belief that they have the answers. A good way to think about this is performative confidence. It's a behavior that's all about projecting this aura of absolute certainty, of being the expert in the room. And just like that, this person goes from echoing others to positioning themselves as the one who knows it all. And this, right here, is the central puzzle. How can somebody be both things at once? A total sycophant telling people only what they want to hear, and a know-it-all who thinks they have all the answers. I mean, they seem like complete opposites, don't they? Well, here's the big reveal that solves the puzzle. The source suggests it's all about the audience. These are two different faces for two different groups of people. The agreeable pleaser face, that's shown upwards to the boss. But the overconfident expert face, that's for peers and subordinates. It's this chameleon-like ability to switch between the two that really makes up the one package. So what happens when people see this two-faced act in person? Well, the source doesn't just define the type, it also points to the kind of pushback it creates. And it even gives us a specific cultural reference as a little case study for how people usually react. Using the source's own casual phrasing, let me refer you to about this guy. We get pointed toward a piece of real-world evidence. This isn't just some abstract theory. The author is basically saying, hey, if you don't believe me, just go listen to this. And what's the reference? It's a country song by an artist named Sam Grow. And the title is, fittingly enough, Kiss My Ass. The source points to this song as the perfect summary of the backlash. It's just a direct, unfiltered rejection of that whole performance. It's like an anthem for anyone who's just had enough. Okay, let's bring this all home. Based on everything we've looked at, what's the final takeaway? What are the key things you should actually watch for if you want to spot this one-package personality out in the wild? So the final profile is pretty clear. It's someone who aims all that strategic agreement upwards at people in power. At the same time, they're projecting this unwavering, performative confidence outwards to everybody else. The key is how easily they can switch between those two modes. And it's a combination that, no surprise here, usually gets a really strong negative reaction. And this, right here, is the most crucial takeaway. It's not about just finding a flatterer or just finding someone who's overconfident. The real one-package archetype, according to this entire theory, is defined only by that specific combination of these two, seemingly opposite behaviors in the very same person. Which, of course, leaves us with one last thing to think about. When we see this stuff in our own lives, at work, with friends, wherever, how do we actually tell the difference? How do we distinguish genuine support from someone who's just engaging in calculated flattery as part of a much bigger performance? That's the real question this whole analysis leaves you with.